Hi, welcome to the channel. Today's story is called The Crash and Awakening. It will be a while before they can get search and rescue onto this island, so they have to try to survive on their own. It started when the small tourist helicopter crashed in the jungle after being struck by lightning. 9 people were lucky enough to survive the initial crash, but they soon found themselves lost in an uncharted part of the island with little supplies and a rapidly approaching storm. There was Emily, a young scientist who specialized in volcanology and was visiting the island to study its unique geology. She was joined by her tour guide, Captain Harris, a grizzled ex-military man who seemed unflappable in the face of danger. The tourists included Jake, a friendly guy traveling with his little sister Lily. Then there was Dr. Patel, a well-meaning medic, Marcus, the enthusiastic cameraman, Sarah, the determined journalist, and a couple of other tourists, Robert and Anna. When the helicopter went down, their pilot, Bruno, was seriously injured. He tried his best to keep them safe, but he ultimately succumbed to his wounds despite Dr. Patel's efforts. Even though they were shaken but physically unharmed, their ordeal had just begun. Their biggest immediate concern was getting away from the crash site before the helicopter, which was leaking fuel, exploded. Captain Harris took charge, barking orders to move away from the wreckage. "Everyone, listen up, check for injuries. We need to move away from the wreck before it explodes." His military background made him the natural leader, organizing the survivors and assigning tasks. He managed to locate a patch of relatively flat ground far from the wreckage where they set up camp. With the threat of an explosion lifted, they could assess their situation. Strangely, the jungle around them was eerily silent. Usually such a place would be buzzing with insects and the calls of exotic birds. Now there was only an oppressive quiet punctuated by the distant rumble of the volcano. Emily realized that the storm they had been caught in had somehow kept most animals away. The silence felt heavy, almost menacing. Before long, they realized that the storm had destroyed much of their supplies. Of the 7 backpacks that had been on board the helicopter, only 4 were intact. Most of the food and clean water was gone. They salvaged what they could, mostly a few granola bars, some water bottles, and first aid kits. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the volcano rumbled again, sending a shiver through the survivors. They huddled around a small fire, sharing what little food they had. Emily studied the island's map that they had found in the wreckage. It was water-damaged and almost illegible, but she could make out one important thing. The spot where they had crashed was dangerously close to the volcano's projected path. "There's no way we gonna make it off this island if the volcano erupts," she said grimly. The others looked up, their faces pale in the firelight. No one had thought of this before. The beautiful island they had come to visit was hiding something dangerous under its lush surface. Before the helicopter went down, Bruno, their pilot, had mentioned rumors of a dormant volcano, but none of them had believed him. They had come for adventure, not for a life-threatening volcanic eruption. Captain Harris, ever the pragmatist, asked, "What are we gonna do about it?" Emily studied the map. "We need to find higher ground. If the volcano does erupt, we need to be as far away from the lava as possible." They agreed to start moving at first light. In the morning, the survivors got to work tending to their wounds. Drive Patel used his medical kit to treat the injured, mostly cuts and bruises, but also a sprained ankle. Jake had taken quite a hit when the helicopter had crashed, and he winced as the doctor cleaned and bandaged his wound. "Don't worry, you'll be good as new in no time," Dr. Patel said reassuringly. But the doctor's soothing words did little to ease Jake's fears. He knew that they were in a race against time, a race against the volcano. They had to get out of there before it erupted. Meanwhile, Captain Harris and Marcus scouted the area, looking for anything that might help them survive. They found some coconuts, but most of the fruit had fallen off the trees during the storm. But they were able to drink the coconut water, which was a much-needed source of hydration. Later, Emily gathered the group. "We found some coconuts, but we need more food. We're going to split into teams of 2 and search for berries and fruits. Remember, we don't have much time." The urgency of their situation pressed down on them like a physical weight. They explored the dense jungle, pushing aside thick vines and climbing over fallen logs. The air was thick with humidity and the constant buzz of insects. After hours of searching, the teams returned empty-handed. "Nothing but coconuts," Emily reported back to the group. "We have to try something else." As the day wore on, the volcano became more active. The tremors were stronger now, and the glow at its peak was brighter. The group felt a sense of foreboding wash over them. They were running out of time. Captain Harris, thinking of his military training, decided to take charge. He divided the group into 2, one led by him and the other by Emily. "We'll cover more ground that way," he explained. Their search led them to a small stream gushing over rocks. Emily noticed some wild onions growing near the water's edge. "We can eat these," she said, relief washing over her. The onions weren't much, but it was something to stave off starvation. Suddenly, Harris shouted, "Look!" In the distance, they saw a clearing. And in the clearing, a large structure made of wood and stone. Could this be their salvation? As they got closer, the details of the structure became clearer. It was an ancient temple half swallowed by the jungle. Relief, carved on the temple walls, depicted strange creatures and unknown symbols. One carving caught Emily's eye. It showed a humanoid figure with the head of a bird. As they explored the temple, the ground trembled violently. The volcano was close to its breaking point. They hurried back to the camp, fear etched on their faces. The tremor grew stronger. They watched in awe as the volcano unleashed its fury, spewing lava and ash into the sky. It was a terrifying sight, but also oddly beautiful. Harris looked at Emily. "We have to go," he said, urgency in his voice. They grabbed their things and ran as hard as they could through the thick jungle, the roaring of the volcano echoing behind them. The lava creature appeared again, blocking their path. It was huge, its body a grotesque parody of a human form. Its face was a mask of dripping molten rock, and its eyes glowed with an infernal light. Fear froze them in their tracks. Then Lily screamed. The lava creature had lunged. It moved with surprising speed, its flaming hand reaching for her. Time seemed to slow down. Would Jake's heroic older brother come to save the day, or would Lily be turned to ash?